Good day, everyone, and welcome to Adventures with Parker. Today we are here at Westfield Heritage Center. Is that the name of the place?
Yes.
Okay, good. And we're joined by Chloe and Mike. And we are here because it is maple syrup season. So one of the great Canadian traditions is to go out to a sugar bush and see how they make syrup from maple trees and from the sap and all that good stuff. Yeah, this place also has like a pioneer village. There's a few different displays and events throughout. So we're going to explore and just enjoy this great Canadian tradition. So without any further ado, let the adventures begin. So we're given a little map of all the different buildings here, so we're just trying to figure out where we are.
The Misener House. It's from Troy.
So that was cool. We got to walk in and see the inside of the house. Like, it's an old frame house, and it kind of talked about, you know, the process of building it and the layout and all of that. And they had two people in there who were, you know, giving us the whole rundown. So throughout the village, they have these little fun facts about maple syrup. So they give you the question, you can think about it, and when you're ready, you can move the wood block to reveal the answer. And in this case, it's true. Maple syrup does have more calcium than milk.
Yeah, okay, so look on the surface and you'll see black dots. Yeah. Those are sunspots.
Alright, we're inside the general store now, and what do they have in here, Mike?
Purchase some maple treats, candy sticks, and other sweets.
Nice.
Oh, maple syrup, maple tea, maple sugar, souvenirs, and lots more. I didn't see that part.
So the general store was pretty busy, but we got ourselves some maple leaf candies. They look really cute. Cheers.
It's good. Very sweet.
You have to have a little bit of experience with that. They catch it before it goes over, and then you can keep it going.
All right, so the next part of our adventure is to actually go to the Sugar Shack, which is a little ways into the woods, not too far, but we are going to take a wagon over because, I mean, hey, it's an excuse for a wagon ride. Mike, are you excited to go to the Sugar Shack?
Sugar? Yeah.
So excited.
There we go. Off on a wagon ride adventure.
between Brantford and Hamilton. Okay. If you know Hamilton, you can come out to Dundas, Mineral Springs, Summit, Jerseyville. I don't know the last one. But there's rail trail there today. In 1892, construction for this was started. It finished it was completed in 1894, and this house was built and finished a year and a half later. The first person we know anything about is Mr. Smith. James Nelson Smith is certified as being a railroad telegrapher. It was very important that the person who ran the railway station knew how to do Morse code. That's telegraphy. And they're all on a different key. That hits a ribbon, which is an ink ribbon. And behind the ink ribbon is the paper.
Ooh,
Oh wow.
it's kind of frozen as well.
Yeah.
No, not as much.
Okay, so that's a spile that's actually like in the tree, right? And it's just dripping in. Cute. Okay, so they have a whole bunch of buckets here, each of them collecting sap. We were just thinking we want to ask how many there are because there's quite a few. Like you look and you see them further out, and yeah, I'm pretty sure every maple tree here is tapped. All right, we have finally made it to the sugar shack, the thing we came here for. So exciting.
That's the batch that's in the front. It's pretty good. Now it's really hot. You must taste it. And it's not quite done. I can tell it's not quite done by the way it pours. If it was really done, I could pour it off the ladle and it would run underneath and backwards and then peel away like olive oil. Can I do it? Oh, I can make it go backwards. But it's breaking into drips. It's not running like olive oil. So it's not done. Close. We're getting there.
How is it?
It's very good.
So yeah, after I go home at the end of the day, my hair smells like everyone's
Crunchy.
So you just keep an eye on it, you keep checking it, but no, because then you don't want it to spill, so probably about halfway or so. I think so. This layer right here, this is the sap layer. So that's the sap wood. That's how deep we want to tap the tree. Put it in, we'll give it a tap. So we want it to be snug so it doesn't fall out. So the hole should be just a little smaller than the tap so it's nice and snug. And then you'll see we've got buckets hanging all over the forest and the village. This is how they're hanging. So there's a hook there. We stick the bucket onto it. And then with our warmer daytime temperatures, because it was cold overnight, warm during the day, the pressure changes, and then the sap will drip out the tap into the bucket. And then you'll see we also have lids on the bucket, and that's just so things falling from the treetops don't fall and contaminate, or it keeps it a little cleaner. We'll filter it anyway, but it just makes that job a little less.
Okay, so that was fun. We got to practice using the drill to get into the trees. So we're telling us you want to get about 1.5 inches in, past the bark, and not too deep, but there's a certain distance that you got to go in order to hit the sap. And then we learned that there's 110 trees that are tapped here.
Yeah, and they said they don't tap them all every year. It's like alternating. So they do about 55 a year.
All right, we're walking down here. These are the buildings from the 1800s. And I think we're coming up to the Smokehouse.
It smells so good though.
It does. It smells
so
amazing.
Was sugar, which had an indefinite shelf life. This basically did not go bad ever. And the way you would get to that is you'd boil it a little bit past maple syrup, and then you take it off the heat, and with a flat spoon like this, you'd stir it, and you'd stir it, and you'd stir it, and your arm would absolutely kill you because it's really thick and it's sugar and it's awful. And then all of a sudden it would crystallize and you'd end up with maple sugar. So you're not boiling all of the liquid out. It's kind of like toffee or taffy at that point. So it's really thick, but then you have this chemical reaction where it just crystallizes and becomes sugar. And it gets stored really, really hard in like a cone, and you'd cut off the amount of sugar that you need. And then in a mortar and pestle, you would grind it up, and that's how you would get this. That's a lot of work for a very minimal amount of what you end up with. However, the timing of it was kind of perfect, because most of the people that were doing this were farmers, as I mentioned, pretty poor farmers at that. But what they would do is they'd turn it into a community event. Prior to this time of year, the last real community event, social event that they would have had would have been Christmas, but they might have been snowed in at Christmas, so it might not have been since harvest season in October. Just like we do when it gets sunny out after winter, they probably would have been a little bit stir crazy, wanting to get out, but conveniently for them, most of the time farmers had other more important things to do. However, syrup season falls in that time period where it's warm, but it's still cold, so the ground is frozen, and as a result, they can't do anything in the fields. They can't do more farm work, so they're still stuck in winter mode, but they have time and they have the ability. So they would have these sugaring bees, they'd all get together, kind of like a barn raising or a quilting bee, and it would just be the whole community would get together and they would make up their maple syrup together. The men would all go out together with the boys, they'd collect it all, they'd bring in the wood. The women would be here at the kettles. Sometimes they, depending on how many people, they'd have multiple kettle systems going. I'm sure they'd be gossiping. It'd be great. And at the end of it, they would all end up with a certain amount of syrup and a certain amount of maple sugar. And they often would turn it into a party at the very end. So depending on how large it was, it might just be a couple of family members. It could be a whole large community. Could be a day or two. Could be a week. Could be 2 weeks. At the end of it though, it was very common for them to have a party that they would cook, and they would bake all these amazing sweet things that they haven't had for a year. And they would often have a dance, and it would be like in a barn. Even today, we still celebrate it. Like, we have events like this where people get stir crazy because you've been stuck inside all winter, and suddenly it's bright and sunny and you have a beautiful day like this. And what better way to celebrate it than fresh maple syrup?
Okay, we couldn't come to the Sugar Shack without getting a pancake lunch, so that's what we have. And the prices were great too. Like, all of this was $5.50, so I don't think you can complain about that. Of course, we had to stop in the gift shop before leaving. And here it looks like they have lots of toys, different types of candy, and of course some maple syrup. Alright, and that is going to do it for our day at Westfield Heritage Village. Overall, we had a really fun visit here. Not only was it cool to, see the whole process of how they make maple syrup, but it was also really cool to just explore the village in general and chat with all of the workers there and see all of the different demonstrations. We just learned a lot that day. The other cool thing about this day is that there was just this real local connection. I mean, one of the things that they were telling us is that maple syrup production can only happen in a specific region in the world, that being Eastern Canada and Northeastern United States. So this isn't something that happens over in Europe or really anywhere else. So it's just, like I said, it's a real Canadian tradition. And it's something that I haven't done in years. I remember going to a sugar bush when I was a kid, and it's something that I've been wanting to get back to, so it was really great for me. And then, of course, Chloe, being from Scotland, it's something that she wanted to experience and partake in while she's living here. Now, Westfield Heritage Village offers a few different events throughout the year. I'm pretty sure that they're open year-round and offer different things depending on the season. But as far as the maple syrup demonstrations go, that's only happening on a few select days in February and early March, and we had to book our reservation ahead of time. So if this is something that you're interested in doing, make sure you do your research and make sure you plan ahead. But yeah, I think it would be cool to come back and check out some of the other things that they do here, but as far as the maple syrup goes, it was such a cool thing to experience. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video and want to see more adventures from theme parks, attractions, and other fun events like this one, make sure you become a subscriber. You can also hit the notification bell, that way you won't miss any of my future videos. You can also find me on social media. I'm at ADV Parker on Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky, and at Adventures with Parker on TikTok and Facebook. As always, big shout out to my Patreon members for going above and beyond in supporting this channel. And if you're interested in supporting this channel for as little as a toonie a month in exchange for some sweet perks and bonus content, you can head on over to patreon.com/advparker to learn more. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, the adventures are calling. Bye! So without any further ado...